By the time you were 14, you started shoplifting.
It was earlier than that.
Earlier than that.
Yeah, that was finally when I started getting into the bigger stuff. I started with little racing cars.
Okay.
But yeah. Heck yeah.
Okay. So you started getting in trouble, and you had like a little crew of guys that you hung out with, and you guys started basically doing little petty crimes and so forth.
Yeah, it happens in the low income. They call them the ghetto. They call it the ghetto. Which is actually a European word. Ghetto, European word for where the poor Jews lived in Europe, and cockroaches are also associated with the ghetto, but they're German cockroaches. So I don't remember any Africans living in Germany, but yeah, it's part of the deal. It's part of the society deal. We were just like, let's say, the poor Polish, or the poor Italians that lived in New York City or Pittsburgh, before Boys Club of America and Girls Club of America and 4-H and before Boys Town and before the government got together and got all these programs and said, let's get these thugs off the street. African American boys didn't have that privilege, nor to this day. And so yes, it's the beautiful part of that is that I recognize that's a part of who we are, all of us. I used to think it was just black people, until I saw it in a broader context. And I was like, yeah, my kid, when they were 5 years old, can answer this question. If you put 100 people in a room for a month, but you give them enough food for 10, my 5-year-old would tell you it's going to be trouble.
Right.
I mean, it's just part of the thing.
Yeah. Well, you had a crew of 6 friends, and when you look back at them today, 3 of them are dead, and 1's in prison. Through that time, it seemed like you went through some hardships.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with cops. One cop put a gun in your mouth? Well, what was that about?
Well, that was about, four little black dudes broke into a moped shop, and we were running and we all sold drugs, And so I got a big old lead of weed, and he's got a gun, and they catch me and the gun goes in my mouth. It's sort of like when the pandemic came and everybody was forced inside and everybody had to look at the TV and everybody said, oh, wow, that white cop put his knee on the black dude's neck until he died.
George Floyd.
Yeah. And everybody was like, that was wrong. But until then, no one really thought that was that wrong.
Right.
You don't put a gun in a little 14-year-old's mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, that's...
how is that? I mean, you're sitting there, barely a teenager, and you have a pistol in your mouth with an angry white man holding it. Did you think that it was over at that point?
Of course. He had a dog in the car, too. The dog was like coming at me, too.
Right, because he put the dog in your face as well. So it was really a vicious situation.
It was a situation for a kid.
This is before body cameras. Imagine if this body camera footage came out today.
It's pre-body cam.
Right.
It's pre-body cam. But, it's a product of my environment, man.
Yeah.
It's a product of it's not like I grew up in an environment that's something outside of what's the norm for people that come from that environment. That's not uncommon. No, that's not a black or white thing. That's just a societal thing. You know what I mean? And I'm included in that. It's one of the things that if you're a young man in those situations, it's one of the things that you have to grow through, understand, and transcend, just as well as any other ethnic group.